Yo, we are back for the second episode of the new Backyard Blitz. I got my man Daryl in the building.
What it do? What it do?
Oh man, we've had a wild. That draft was wild.
It was a
From
fun draft.
that first round was so random. I heard boos, I heard cheers, I heard what the fuck. I, I saw NFL players freaking out, and I was like, they're freaking out, so there must be a bad pick.
My favorite reaction was Michael Parsons. That was my favorite reaction.
Was it? Mine had to be all the dudes from Steelers Nation, dog. I'm sorry.
Oh, nah, that actually was funny.
They were at the party like, yo, he right there on the board. Sanders is right there. We got our QB for the future, blah, blah, blah. Who is this?
No, you know what was worse? So it was actually on Twitter. You know how they have like the little voice podcast thing where like random people can come talk?
Yeah.
A Saints fan, he was going off about how they picked up the QB from Louisville. He said, "What you got to do with me?" Like, I was like, "Dang, man."
Oh man!
And it would have made sense for Shador to go to New Orleans because it's like, bro, he's from the South. He's like, it would have made sense. I feel like the Saints would have been like a fun team to be around, but you know.
See, I'm just wondering, like, did this like derail his career? In my opinion. So if anybody doesn't know by now, Sanders didn't go until what, the fifth round?
Yeah, fifth round.
To the Cleveland Browns, who picked up
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel before him. And I was like, so what was the point of that? Like, you had an opportunity to pick him. Why didn't you just pick him?
Crazy part is like that I'm not understanding is like the GM, he sat there when they picked Gabriel, he was all smiling, happy. Then he got Sanders and he looked irritated, like, bro, we literally just picked up Gabriel. Why are we picking up another young QB? And when he made the phone call, he was like, bro, this means you gotta have to work hard. Like, no, like, duh, we know we gonna have to work hard.
Fifth round pick, obviously he gotta work.
But I just genuinely feel like in that situation, we don't know the full context of the whole thing of why Shador dropped so far. But, you know, all I can say is I hope he, you know, brings that energy and like comes out with a lot of fire to the NFL.
I mean, my man, you got a chip on your shoulder. And I want to see how hard that chip is. Like, how big is that mug right now? Like, the tiny, or you got Deion Sanders chips, like you got dad chips, because when people look at you now, they're looking at a fifth round pick, a first round potential fifth round pick. How did that happen?
And like I said before, that move was simply just to go ahead and say, hey, Deion, just because you played in the NFL with us, don't mean what you say is going to control what us as owners and GMs are going to make to bring your son here. And
if he has the talent, like he is arguably the safest quarterback in this draft.
Yeah.
How could we not say that? Even looking at Pittsburgh Steelers, like, you don't need much. You had like two really talented receivers until earlier on this week, with George Pickens and DJ Metcalf. That would have been a great start.
Mm-hmm.
You picked up a running back. You have the makings of being how you always are.
Yeah,
very consistent, and then you add a very consistent quarterback. I didn't see a problem with that. It was strange for me to look at them and say, why didn't they pick him? They went defensive tackle. Did they need defensive tackle? I didn't think that was a glaring need for him.
My thing with it though is like, you know, like people say, owners, GMs, they all talk. So notion of, oh well, like because the owners and GMs are rivals, the teams are rivals, they don't talk, like they ain't buddies. They buddies. They talk behind the scenes. We're not slow. If you pay attention enough to the game, you know GMs talk. Because how else do trades get made? Like, let's be real. How else do deals get made? So there had to have been something in that draft that went when you know the Jags traded with Cleveland, and of course they got Travis Hunter, and it was like, okay, well Cleveland, that means you know they're going to get Shador. They probably just needed more time, and still didn't take Shador. Then it was like, okay, and even with the Giants, we were kind of expected to get Abdul Carter anyways. So it was like, all right, the Giants, they need somebody on defense, but still questionable how come they just didn't get, Shador. And it was like, well, they got Russell Wilson, they got Jameis in the room, so they're probably not like saying we need to grab Shador now. But then once the move happened, before the move happened, once we saw the Steelers come up, then it was like the Steelers were like, we finally getting Shador, we got our quarterback. And then it was like, we're going defensive tackle. And it was like, why? Why are we doing this? Even the Saints, they were like, Saints fans, we got Shador. And it was like, so we're not getting the quarterback? And then we see the Giants come back in the first round and trade up. And in my mind, as if y'all saw on the live, my reaction, I was shocked because I was like, oh my gosh, Shador is about to land like right here in New York. And then sure enough, I mean, it's Jackson Dart. And I freaked out because, yes, I want Shador. But you know what? We got Jackson Dart instead.
I mean, be real, your top quarterback was Cam Ward.
Yes, my top one was Cam Ward because we actually tried to make a trade up with Tennessee, and there's video footage of it, and Tennessee basically hung the phone up on us.
First off, you knew that wasn't gonna fucking. It wasn't happening. I'm sorry.
No,
being that they supposedly was trying to keep their cards tight to the vest, it didn't really happen because we knew for a fact you weren't about to go into the next season with Will Levis. You've given him at least 2 years to try to make it work, and he failed. He fumbled the bag.
Yeah, and you had Mason Rudolph as a backup.
Yeah, that's not going to work. So let's go ahead and we'll either move Will Levis to the backup or we'll move Will Levis out. Mason Rudolph will be my backup quarterback, and we'll move on with the talent that we have on this team and keep producing or keep, picking away at it to get where we want to be at, back to the playoffs, NFC, AFC championships. Like you have to move that route. Now, will it happen? Don't know. We have to wait to see him get on the field and watch him produce and see if we need receivers, or see if our offensive line isn't good enough, or see if our defense isn't capable enough to stop anybody, and he has to be on the field the whole time, chunking up deep balls to try to get us back in the game. So there's so many things that play into whether or not he's going to really be the solution.
Yeah.
But I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping he's going to do good. Another player that I think is going to do pretty well, I'm not sure how it's going to work out, Travis Hunter. So explosive, but the hitting that you're going to be receiving, both offensively and defensively, is, in my opinion, too much. That's why you don't see them doing both ways like that. Like, nobody's playing both ways.
So let me ask you this. So which side of the ball would you prefer to see him on?
Honestly, I prefer to see him as a receiver.
Okay, so we agree on that.
I think he is really talented at receiver spot. His after the yak yards is crazy, but at the same time, I don't think he's a number one receiver.
So for me, for this situation, so they actually just released Gabe Davis today. So, it's in the making right here for Travis Hunter to be the number one receiver.
So you're gonna make him the number one receiver and your fucking number one corner? That makes
I don't think he is a number one DB, number one corner. And I say this because if you look at his tape, yes, everyone's like, oh my gosh, the interceptions, the forced fumbles. But it's like when he's on one-on-one coverage, and yes, I understand everybody's gonna be like, but that's everybody gets beat one-on-one. But he's like visually, you can see him holding and like trying to hold people to keep from their routes. Yes, they didn't throw flags on a lot of them, but he comes to the league. Those are going to be penalties, and you can't hold a player to try to keep him from his route. And we saw him get beat by Higgins. We saw him get beat by a guy from Arizona. Was it McKinnon that went to Carolina?
Teteroa McMillan.
So, I'd rather see Travis Hunter at receiver. I just genuinely think he's a better receiver than he is a DB.
I agree. I think he is a better receiver. I still don't think he's the number one receiver in this draft. Nor did I said it before. I didn't think he was the number one receiver in this draft. I didn't think he was the number one corner in this draft.
No, but he's a household name, and he's going to make ticket sales for you because what he can do on both sides of the ball. That's why Jacksonville made that move.
The ultimate, basically a weapon that you don't know where you're going to see him at. But in order to make that weapon really work, you can't make him the number one. You can't put him up against number one receivers. You think that you're going to sit there and he's going to be playing 40, 50 snaps a game? Actually, almost 100 snaps a game. You're going to go up against receivers like A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Jefferson, Chase. Then you're going to turn around and say, I'm gonna go up against these talented DBs. Like, I get it. We don't have the Revis Island anymore. We don't have, Antonio Cromartie, but Diggs and Brand are still out here. They hit. And the way Diggs plays, he plays you like he's a receiver too, and he's just going to run your route with you. Not to mention all the DBs over there in Philly.
But I mean, he's in the AFC South, so like that's not really like.
I'm just using him as an example because no real DB is really coming to my mind right now. Other than actually, let me take it back. Jalen Ramsey, one of the best. Even though I don't think he is how he was at the beginning of his career.
No, which is why Miami's trying to look to trade him.
Well, then he's partly a head case.
No, I think he's cleaned up his act.
He is in Miami. Ain't nothing clean about that. We just know how to hide it.
I mean, I guess he a Florida boy, so
he know where to go to make sure none of his foolishness gets out. Come on now.
Yeah. I mean, the Dolphins, yeah.
But there's DBs like everywhere.
But
you have to go up with some of the most talented DBs, and then turn around and go up against the most talented receivers. But expecting to be in the top 10 in that is crazy.
But I mean, for Travis Hunter though, like he's about to be in a division with, if the Jaguars do have a good season, their only competition in their division is going to be the Texans, because no one's going to be thinking about the Colts, and no one's going to be thinking about Tennessee unless Cam Ward balls out for Tennessee. So that's about it. I think Tyler Boyd Tyler Boyd's like the only receiver Cam Ward's going to have.
Yeah.
So, that division is really between, to me, two teams.
I mean, who else is? Wait, I'm sorry. Their division's got Atlanta.
No, their division has Jaguars have the Texans, the Colts, and the Titans.
Actually, no.
Indianapolis has too much stuff going on over there. They don't even know who they want at QB.
The Texans and Jags. That's it.
Right.
So, and depending on how well the Texans play this year, if CJ Stroud is now over his sophomore slump, people are not thinking that's a thing. But hey, it's a proven fact that their sophomore year ain't that good because now we have tape on you.
And for me too, like, even though people tried to say, "Oh, Trevor Lawrence had a bad season," it wasn't his best season. But I believe with this move, like, Travis Hunter will have a better season this year.
Oh yeah, he has a legitimate threat at receiver.
They got a new head coach, so
maybe we'll see a little bit more from Trevor Lawrence. We get the sunshine back in the building. So let's get to this draft picks. We're starting off this today with the NFC East. I think it's only right that we start off with the most hated team in here. We're gonna start off with the Eagles. No, what the Eagles. Start acting like that. I get it. You're wild. Y'all hate us, but I'm sure you hate the Eagles more.
Y'all about even, actually. You my boy, so I mean it's actually toned down a little for the Cowboys. I still hate y'all a lot, but I mean, you the only Cowboy that has sense. The rest of them, they be delusional. Eagles fan altogether as a whole, they delusional. And we live 2 hours from them, so I gotta be around them all the time.
All the time.
So, but they say he's pretty cool, so I like talking trash to them at games.
So personally, I as a fan, I hate what they did. I hate that they're able to do this every year, over and over, all the time. It's very annoying. But I can't be mad because it's not technically their fault that things just dropping in their lap like this. Their first pick from the University of Alabama, Jihad Campbell. Now, yes. A lot of it, at first he was not a first round pick, and then he kind of moved up because some people were moving down and people started liking how fast he was, which is great, But being the best linebacker in the draft is very annoying and very weird for him to be that far out of the first round. But still real good. They also got Andre Makuba from Texas, safety. Ty Robinson, defensive tackle. I guess you just need more of those since Carter's not enough. And I'm sorry, Mac McWilliams. I really don't think it's McWilliams, but MC Williams is wild. I don't know.
Oh, from UCF?
Yeah, University of Central Florida corner. Because you need another corner. Because apparently the white corner that you got wasn't good enough or wasn't enough.
Darius Slay is no longer there.
But still, you just move in the corner, though. That makes no sense. They picked up 2 corners last year.
Yep, and they got rid of Slay this offseason.
Which is fine because you have 2 better corners. But then you pick up another corner.
Depth, maybe.
Uh, I mean, it is the 5th round pick. I mean, they didn't have a third round. They didn't have a third round pick as well. Um, and then they ended up with another linebacker, uh, Samuel Moden Jr. from Georgia. They love Georgia players. If they don't do anything else, they're going to get a Georgia player.
Oh yeah, for sure. They always Philly is that is literally Georgia right there. That is for NFL. That's Georgia's defense for whatever reason. We've seen so many Georgia defensive tackles, linebackers all go there, and then it's like they literally act like bulldogs over there in Philly and just beat up offensive lines. It's very annoying. And they really showed it this Super Bowl that, hey, we ain't got a blitz. We just got to move y'all out the way and we can get to y'all quarterback.
Which, if people don't know that you need to start making sure your offensive line is good, there it is. Kansas City didn't do it. Not sure why. But
yeah, one of the standout draft picks that Philly had to me was it actually, other than Jahad Campbell, it actually was their edge, their actual last pick in 6th round. Atwan Powell Ryland from Virginia Tech. He is actually a pretty underrated edge guy. And the one thing that, Philly is known for, obviously, is setting that edge. Now, this year we saw the defense, the nose tackle, like everybody in the middle defensive tackles take care of business up front with the center and guards. But that edge, if he gets it going, it's going to be hard for whatever side, left tackle or right tackle, is going to deal with one-on-one. So I'm actually shocked they actually were able to grab him.
He might have an opportunity to make some sacks. I don't think he may get on the field. I don't know if he's actually going to get on the field because they didn't really lose too much in that department. Literally, most of their losses were on the offensive line.
Yeah, and they went and took care of that, getting Drew Kendall from Boston College at center, and then 2 tackles, Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams from Texas and Michigan.
Sorry, I'm wrong, Eagles fans. I was wrong because your Brandon Graham retired, and then you didn't think you were going to lose Josh Sweat, and you did. Wish him luck over there in the Cardinals. We'll talk about him later next week or week after, whenever we talk about the Cardinals. But they lost 2 edge rushers. They lost Milton Williams to the Patriots. They did lose more corners than I was expecting. So James Bradbury left, Maddox, Rogers, and Slay all left. Maddox went to the Lions, Rogers Vikings, and Slay went to the Steelers. And their safety, Gardner Johnson, was traded to the Texans.
Yeah, Gardner Johnson was traded to the Texans, and then, of course, because he got traded, then he wanted to talk trash about the Eagles organization.
I mean, it's usually how that works. A lot of people just like DeMarcus Lawrence. Oh, I'm not. Absolutely not.
You got some demons in that house? You got dogs?
No, my wife has this Ebo that rides around on the floor with a camera on it that you can look and spy or whatever she wants to do while she's not home. So,
but Eagles, yeah, the moves they made for their draft, they're to me, we can never sleep on the Eagles because we'll say, they lost key players, and then randomly you see the other guys who you're like, who is this dude? Like, where did he come from? And it's something nobody really paid attention to.
No. Yeah.
So Howie we know for sure is one of the best GMs for the moves he's made. We don't know how he's made them,
Where
but
he's finding money, but so that's
how
really,
Howie's a genius.
yeah. All right. So let us move on to the Commanders. And I like y'all, I really do. But if you think that no quarterback is going to have a sophomore slump, I need you to show me the numbers.
No, I got a vendetta to pick with Commanders fans right now. No, I got a big problem I gotta say about them. All right, look, me and Rod, we locate here in the DMV. We around y'all all the time. It is burgundy and gold everywhere. Like it's nothing we can get away from. Y'all finally had y'all year of success, and y'all had a good season. I can't hate on y'all for that. Y'all won double digit wins, got to the NFC Championship. Jane Daniels, he is y'all next quarterback. We got it. But let's remain humble. Let's understand that, okay? You guys haven't won a Super Bowl since like what the 80s, and it's been a while since y'all actually did well in the playoffs. Y'all finally do well in the playoffs, and immediately now y'all like, oh yeah, we going to the Super Bowl next year. Oh yeah, we taking the division next year.
Man,
You still got Philly, who's got Jalen Hurts, Saquon, AJ Brown, Smitty, and that defense they got over there with Jalen Carter, and now adding Jahai Campbell and Cooper DeJean. So you got them. You got the Cowboys who got Micah Parsons.
We'll do that next.
Okay, we'll get there later. Okay, we'll get there later. But my point is, Commanders fans, y'all gotta stop already. Like, we get it. Y'all finally like had a great season. Y'all weren't the bottom bunch. It was the Giants. It was us. Yes, I understand. I will accept it. We sucked this year, only having 3 wins. But like my mom always say, stay humble. Cause shoot, I got cocky one year. Rodney will will tell about it. I got cocky. 2022, the year the Giants made the playoffs and we beat the Vikings. I knew we were losing the divisional round, but I was like, you know what? Offseason came next year. I'm talking trash to Rodney almost every single time we talk football. I'm like, we whooping that ass. And sure enough, I was talking trash. I bought tickets, went to East Rutherford. I sat in that rain and saw us get swept 40-0. It was tears coming down my face. It wasn't rain, it was tears. And I had to sit through that whole game.
I'd have left. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, damn.
Oh, I tried to leave.
Like
I tried to leave, but my boy, he was like, bro, it's my first NFL game. And I said, it's your last with me. But
you are a bad luck charm.
He's a Cowboys fan, so he was enjoying time.
I bet he was.
And it just sucked because we had to sit in the rain too.
I don't like sitting in the rain. Not gonna lie to you. I don't like sitting in the rain at all. But so, I mean, I'm with it. You Commanders, you guys did some things this offseason to try, in your draft. First off, I love Trey Amos. Honestly, one of the best corners in this draft. Congratulations, you got in the second round. Amazing. Josh Connerly, I get it. Trying to make sure that you don't have that sophomore slump that everyone normally has by protecting your quarterback and make sure he doesn't get hurt. That's another key. That's how you lost RG3 because he kept getting hurt. Well, he got hurt one time and it was done. You did actually go get a receiver because you need a receiver because Deebo Samuels is not the answer. He is not a number 2. He has proved that with a better quarterback on his roster. Now, he didn't do much there in San Fran other than 1 year for 4,000 yards. 1 year. If you're expecting to have a 2,000-yard receivers, you're not going to happen. Not going to happen. Now, I like that you guys got you got another running back. Well, all right. You didn't have many picks, but you made what you had work. Got you a linebacker, UCLA, pretty good. But the losses, I can't really say that you lost anything of significance. I mean, I would say Dante Fowler Jr., but it didn't seem like he did much for y'all anyway. He made, what do he have, like maybe 2-3 sacks, if that?
Honestly, I know a lot of Commanders fans who are upset about losing him.
Well, appreciate you giving him back to us because he's just swapping between two teams at this point.
They actually are upset they lost Fowler.
I would be more. I mean, Jamison Crowder. I'm more upset about that. Oh, is that one receiver, Zacharias, that they had? No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. It's another. They had another receiver that was doing things, or was their tight end that was actually playing very well? Oh, you guys also lost Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen is now with the Vikings.
So, I mean, you did lose some stuff, but I don't think it was as big as a problem.
I think Jonathan Allen, though, I think he was ready to leave anyways.
Yeah. He needed to be out of there. Him and his other Alabama teammate just did not get along. They did not get along.
That was actually a funny.
Like, we're not in Alabama no more. So
that was actually funny.
That was funny. That was funny. So, all right. So I think you guys got an opportunity. You played very well, but understand that there is a sophomore slump. It does happen. Now people have tape on you. They have tape on your quarterback. They have tape on your plays. If you don't have your running game isn't up to par right now with the two running backs that you do have, it's going to hurt you. Ask Dallas with no running game.
I'm still not big on their defensive backs. The linebacking core with Frankie Louvu and those guys, yeah, I got respect for them. Like, yeah, they're gonna do their thing. But as far as like corners and stuff, I'm not, which is probably why they got Trey Amos from Mississippi. I'm not really high on them.
I'm high on Trey Amos. I think he actually helps them in their corner section.
He does.
They still need to add a corner and a safety, but I think that is really good for them.
I mean, let's see how it works when they got to go against, AJ Brown, Smitty, Neighbors, Pickens, so Slayton,
Since we're talking about that, we'll go ahead and go. I'm gonna leave you for last because I think you deserve to be not last, but
I get what you mean.
It's all good, my dog. All good. So I'm pretty shocked about this one. There's a lot of players that I wanted in the first pick. I'm not upset. It is a Dallas Cowboys pick. It's a Jerry Jones pick. Tyler Booker is a great lineman.
You should be happy about that one.
I'm happy. Could have got him in the second round.
Okay, fair enough.
Could have got him in the second round. Who we should have got, who ended up going still in the first round. What pick was he at?
You talking about
no.
Who Green Bay got?
No, honestly, I like him, but since we were I heard this trade was going on anyway with Pickens, I wasn't too upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was upset was that at pick 22, Omarion Hampton went off the board. I kept saying I wanted to drop back. I wanted to drop back. Shoot, Emeka Ibuka. Well, no, Emeka Ibuka wouldn't have helped us. He doesn't really stretch the field as much. But yes, Green Bay going to get the receiver. I'm not mad at Matthew Golden. Would have been great. Hopefully, I don't have to deal with him right now. Deal with him into the playoffs, and even then, I think if my corners are healthy, I think we could handle it. But being that my corners are never healthy in the past 2 years, can't really say anything about that.
Which is probably why y'all are trying to get Stephon Gilmore back.
Yes and no. Why we're trying to get Stephon Gilmore back? Because we have a young corner that is kind of like him in Shavon Ravel Jr. Now, we got him in third round. He was actually, if he hadn't got hurt this past year, he was going to be a first round pick. They had him slotted as a first round pick after the 2023 season. He was a first round pick. He got hurt 2023, came out, third round pick. Now, I'm excited about it. I'm just not excited that we keep grabbing unhealthy players.
Fair enough.
Every time we have one unhealthy player, and it seems like he stays unhealthy for the rest of his career. But Tyler Booker, I think you're a tremendous player. I like what you said in your interviews. I like how you understand that you want to be a leader, but you need to earn that leadership position, which is what Zach Martin did on day one. He earned his leadership position and he monstered everybody and didn't take shit from nobody. So when you and Carter get into it again when we play Philly, show them what's up. That's all I want to see. You show them what's up. I will be okay if you only allow one sack.
That matchup with Booker and Carter, that's going to be a fun matchup.
Yes, it's going to be very fun.
Especially since Booker said he makes people hate football. All right, let's see how you are, man.
Yeah. But we also got Jaden Blue. Now, I wasn't overly excited about Jaden Blue, but
I think you should.
After watching some tape on him and seeing that he is more than just a stretch running back, he's a receiving running back, which is something we need. We need that off ball. He is the not Zeke. We got a Zeke-ish in Williams from the Broncos, but he is the number 2 back that we needed. Even if Williams does not work out for us, I have to go and say Mel Maffa is a monster. If I don't understand how, probably because he didn't test well, but Mel Maffa from Clemson, running back we got in the 7th round, could easily start in the NFL. He doesn't have Zeke's speed, but he has Zeke's power.
Yeah.
But I just want to bring him up because that was my dude. But he wasn't the 5 that we're talking about. But Shamar James, linebacker, we needed an extra linebacker. He's got a lot of development to do. So I'm not overly excited about him. But if he develops into a pretty good linebacker, I think he will definitely be able to stand out there with Overshawn and Latif that we got, man. I think our linebacker corner is actually starting to look good, but could get better. But the biggest problem is that I saw was that we didn't get a receiver. That's what I was upset about the whole time. I was sitting there like, man, first round pick, first, second, and third should be a receiver. Receiver, running back, and then anything else, fine. We didn't do that. We went offensive line, edge, which we got so many edge rushers. I don't understand why we're looking at edge when we have edge rushers. We didn't lose any edge rushers. Well, we lost Carl Lawson, DeMarcus Lawrence, who was always injured, and Chauncey Golston. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. He didn't do much. Sorry. DeMarcus Lawrence was probably the biggest hit that we took, along with Linval Joseph. That was a big hit. That Jordan Lewis, our slot corner, our nickel corner, cool. I would say that Brandon Cooks was another big hit, but
that's a 50-50 hit.
It's hard. It's a yes and no. Like, he did stretch the field, but it was just like he wasn't always open, and that's my biggest problem with the draft. Like, I needed a receiver, somebody can get open. That's all I needed. So if you can get yourself open, that alleviates CeeDee Lamb from always being double teamed.
Mm-hmm. But now you got a great hands catcher in Pickens, who,
we do. Only other problem that I have with Pickens, or not even Pickens, it was something that somebody else said. I can't think of what podcast that was, or what show. It's the one with Shady McCoy in it. I'm Shady. Don't get me wrong. I agree. I totally agree with Shady and everybody else there. Yeah, we got him. Dak, you need to throw 50-50 balls. If you don't throw 50-50 balls, we cannot be explosive.
So
have an explosive receiver.
So I got a question for you. So, I mean, we're gonna dive more into it later on as episodes go. But what's your mindset right now with the new head coach, coaching staff, and like, what's the expectation you're expecting from him replacing, like, taking over this team?
So, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still on the fence. So I'm giving them, you're okay if it's an 8-8 season. You can move on to the next. We can move on to next year. Mm-hmm. But 8-8 is not going to do anything for me.
So do you feel like you guys are strictly in like a win? It's time to win now mode, though.
We have no other choice but to be in a win now mode, because Jerry does not want to rebuild. There's nothing we can do about it. We're not rebuilding. And you can tell by who he pays and when he pays them, who he brings in. Yeah, we're never going to be in a rebuild mode unless we have absolutely no choice, because the players do not want to be here. Like, we were in a rebuild mode when we had Quincy Carter because we had no choice.
Yeah.
We had nothing. Dez wasn't here. Tony wasn't here. They hadn't gotten here yet. So he had no choice. Plus, he had the receiver, or not the receiver, the coach that could tell him, "Hey, I got it. I could take care of it." Jerry doesn't like bringing those people in to tell him what to do, because he's 90 years old. We told a 90-year-old, hey man, you need to sit down. I'm gonna sit down when I want to. Sit your old ass down, goddammit. You're over here trying to party like you fucking 27 again. Fuck out of here. It's been so long. Do you even know what that looks like? How many blue pills you done popped today? 15? It's gonna hurt your heart. You need to stop. Just saying. That one pump still didn't work because you took that blue chew. I just want to point that out.
Bro, chill.
No. It's this is I'm the fan. I'm not gonna chill on them. I'm not, because I just want him to do the right thing. And right now, it looks like he's doing the right thing. But me personally, if you don't move out the way and let these players and coaches do their job without your interference, then you're not doing the right thing.
I mean, he parked his helicopter in the middle of a practice field.
Yes, we can't practice until you got your fucking helicopter here. Whatever. We'll go to the other facility. That's fine. Next time, let us know. So much stuff to bring over here. But Jerry has made the move that we didn't expect him to make. Gave up a 3rd round pick and a swap for George Pickens. First time I've never seen him do that for a top player. Now, do I think that George Pickens was on his way out anyway? Yes.
I think Mike Tomlin was ready to move on from him too.
Yes, I do too. He does have some not off-field problems, but he's got some behavioral problems. He makes bad decisions sometimes. We need you to stretch for that extra yard, or we need you to make a tackle after do intercepted. We don't need you fighting people.
It's always the Steelers receivers that got something going on with them. Like you had Claypool, Antonio Brown, Pickens, Johnson.
It's crazy. I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh because there ain't nothing to do up there. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, but there's not much to do in Pittsburgh. I'm just saying. Not saying anything's wrong with y'all. Just saying it ain't that much to do there.
I'd rather be in Pittsburgh than be in Philly, to be honest with you.
I would rather be in Miami. Fuck both of those places. I don't personally like being in the cold. I don't like the snow anymore. I used to like it. I don't like it anymore.
I think the older as you get, the more when the cold and snow comes, you're just like, why?
It's annoying and it's terrible. I personally like it's all right, we in the snow, yay.
Because as a kid, you were excited about it because it's the snow. But then once you realize you get older and you're like, I have to shovel snow now.
No, that's not it. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. Being here has made me not like the snow. Being here in Virginia, the DMV area, this has made me not like the snow. Because one, we're north. How is West Virginia getting fucking snow, but we ain't getting snow? How is Maryland getting snow and we not getting snow? Let me move back. How is North Carolina getting snow and this state just doesn't know what snow look like? And then when it does, everybody freak out. Oh my God, it's an apocalypse. We gotta get all the water that we can get. Get some paper towel, get all the paper towels. Like, what are y'all freaking out for? It's just freaking snow. We don't see it that often, obviously.
Hey, it is what it is.
No, I don't want to deal with snow. Homie up there in Cleveland was like, man, it snowed again. I was like, doesn't it snow every year?
Oh, people here would hate New York snow.
First off, I hate New York snow because it's not just the fact that it snows a lot. It's just that once it hits the ground, it's dirt. It's the dirtiest snow I've ever seen in my life. Like, that's nasty. Like, you hit the ground and immediately you turn brown. Y'all not clean your streets? Nothing against y'all. Love New York. Bright lights. The hoods. Love it. Fun.
The boroughs, man. The boroughs.
But y'all are so expensive, it don't make sense.
It is expensive to live there.
It's retarded.
It is very expensive to live there.
Like, every part of New York is expensive. I was like, dude, what the fuck? Is that why people move over to Jersey?
Well, a lot of people starting to move over here now.
Don't do that either. That's not that much better. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not. It's better, but it's not that much better.
Yeah, I know a lot of people from the Bronx and Brooklyn that's here in this area now.
Like, did they move to Maryland?
No, they moved to Virginia.
Oh, that sounds terrible. I don't know why you would do that. This ain't it. But all right. All right, so we're gonna get to my man to finish us off with the Giants.
The New York, the New York
Little
Football
Giants.
Giants.
Little Giants.
Little Giants is crazy. Little Giants is crazy. That is a good movie, but you know, I'm not gonna make any comments. I've learned my lesson about trash talking in the off season. So as the Giants, went 3-14. Not our best season. We're the laughing stock, of course. For letting Saquon walk and going to the Eagles and winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, so nothing's gone well for us. Paying Daniel Jones and then finally realizing, oh snap, we need to release him because he sucks. Yeah. So to be honest with you, I feel like we had a good draft. Like I told you earlier in the show, I wanted Sanders, but we have Russell Wilson at QB, so we kind of already know Russell Wilson is going to be the starter. So it was the best option that I think Daboll and Joe Shane made was, hey, let's get the best player available. And who was that? None other than Penn State's own Abdul Carter. Micah Parsons 2.0.
Well, he has to average 12 sacks a season, but have this conversation.
I think he said his goal right now is to hit 10.5 at least this rookie season.
Cool. He has to average 12 sacks a season.
Anyways, let's move on.
But I was trying to give you your flowers. I think, yes. I don't know what Penn State's got going up there, but they have literally a cloning machine of just edge rushers. Because Mika, Abdul Carter, and the dude after them all look exactly the same.
The guys there now looks actually bigger than both of them.
That's true. I was like, what are they doing up there? Where did he get this dude from? I don't even know where he came from. But yeah, on the back, like whatever.
The good thing about Abdul Carter is he definitely is going to be on the field. Which means Kayvon Thibodeau might get less playing time. So
I don't think so because y'all do use a 4-man front.
We do, but
and what I always had a problem with, and this is what I think is so great about y'all, is that when y'all have these 4 talented rushers, you put them on the field. And that's what we're going to see. You're going to have these talented rushers on the field.
Which probably means they're probably going to put Abdul Carter, right next to Dexter Lawrence, or put Chauncey Golston right next to Lawrence. But which brings me to my next, one of our next picks, not Jackson Dart. We're going to talk about Dart later. But defensive tackle Darius Alexander from Toledo. Now, let me tell you about Darius Alexander. That boy, if you see how the size Dexter Lawrence is, and you see Darius Alexander, bro, you would have thought they was related from the size, because that's how close the size they are. And Darius Alexander, for his size, he's quick. So I'm all for it for him and Dexter Lawrence being right there going against the center and guards. I think they will do tremendous damage.
I think that Alexander's going to be more of a space eater, while Dexter Lawrence was getting towards the ball, getting towards the quarterback. In my opinion, but I think they both can do it. I think he's going to be more of a space eater.
But the thing is, if we're smart about it, the best thing for us is to play Giants football where we say, hey, let's get after the quarterback. Let's stop with these, shadow schemes of, oh, let's drop back. But no, let's get after the quarterback. Let's get after the quarterback, put pressure on him. Because if you realize the seasons where we had a lot of interceptions was from pressuring the QB. Because we make them throw it away. So that's what I'm looking for Shane Bowen to do. as our defensive coordinator. Because last year I did not like him as a defensive coordinator, and we're giving him a second chance. I'm not happy about it, but everybody says in life you deserve a second chance. So hopefully he knows what to do with this defense now. Yeah, let's get to talking about it since we're here. Jackson Dart, Ole Miss's QB, our second pick in the first round. Now, y'all saw my reaction. I was not happy in the beginning. I was annoyed because I pretty much placed a bet that, we were getting Sanders. And I was like, yo, I'm about to make $150. And sure enough, we went Jackson Dart. Now, looking at Jackson Dart's tape, at first, I had issues with it at the beginning because I was like, I want Sanders, that was it. But since we didn't get Sanders, I had to look at Dart's tape. He's not a bad quarterback. He is not. He actually, right next to Milroe, I will say in the SEC, was one of the better QBs in college football. Look at the stats. I know you're looking at me crazy. No, he had good numbers this year. Now, the things I don't like about Jackson Dart that I'm going to point out is he does not like to slide. I need my QB to give himself up. I understand you want to get extra yards, but this is the NFL. You going against defensive linemen who are trying to kill you. And I don't want to see us to be the team to have a QB that is always concussed or got a shoulder injury from taking hits. So, but as far as arm talent,
you think that that's the only problem?
He has a great arm talent. Yeah,
his balls don't come out like that.
I will look again.
They're too low. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you exactly where to go. Where he has no pressure and all he has to do is throw the ball. The combine. Watch between him and Jalen Milroe on the deep ball.
I get what you're saying. You can
see a complete difference.
I get what you're saying.
And it looked terrible. Like
the
ball wasn't getting enough lift. It didn't come out fast. I'm like, what am I looking at?
I get what you're saying, but I think we're good with Dart. I think I'm going to give him his chance. I gave Daniel Jones his chance. So it makes only sense. I got to give Dart a chance too.
You got to wait. You got ways to wait. And unless Wilson or Winston don't produce anything, I think that's the only time. Matter of fact, if Jackson Dart beats Winston out for the backup, which is crazy, then you may have a chance to see him this season.
But this whole thing of having Jackson Dart in this QB room with Russell Wilson, James Winston, this is basically a year of them saying, Jackson Dart, you will not be the starter this year. It's going to be Russell Wilson. But Russ, Winston, we need y'all to coach him, to be a mentor for him, to know him, to let him know how to read a defense. Help him out before we put him on the field. Because if we put him on the field and he's not ready and he doesn't know this stuff, he's going to get killed out there.
Oh, he's probably going to kill regardless. But
so he has a good mentor in Russell Wilson. I know people have their comments, what they say about Wilson, saying, oh, he's not a team player. He sucks. He's mediocre. I still think he's still a good QB in the league. I just think he was in bad situations, being in Denver and in Pittsburgh.
I disagree on Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh was different, but Denver, yeah, he should have never went to Denver. But
let's ride.
My favorite pick of this draft, Cam Scatterbo. Man, I'm telling you. You know how hype I am.
Not as big as Jacobs. I know you want to make this the Ahmad Bradshaw and Jacobs. I get it. Ooh, I get the thought. I get the thought process. But he ain't as big as him.
But he's not as big as
Jacobs.
He's not as big as Jacobs, but he is not scared of contact. He's willing to go through contact.
It's not about being scared of contact. It's about the power that you with that body can produce. He's got some good power. Don't get me wrong.
But he's already shown too he can control his body when taking hits too.
Yes, against Arizona.
No, you watch the Texas game. Watch the Texas Bowl game. If you watch that game against Texas when they went to overtime, that game, their comeback was a lot because of what he did on the field. So it wasn't just against Arizona. Huh?
Was that the beginning of the season?
No, this was the playoffs. Arizona State and Texas.
What? They make playoffs.
Arizona State made the playoffs. Watch the tape. I'm telling you right now, if you watch that game, that's what made me a big fan of him. Because he's able to control his body. He can take hits and still stay on his feet and get up the field. And he can
You're right, but the power that Jacobs produced and the offset of having Jacobs with power and that speed of Bradshaw, like it was different. He doesn't have that type of power. He's not that big of a player.
Look,
like he's going to have a good career.
He will be fine.
I think he's going to have a good career. No problem. Gotcha. Going to be okay, good. But to compare him to Jacobs is crazy for me.
I never compared him to Jacobs.
Yes, you did, because we had that conversation today. It's like having Jacobs. He's going to be another Jacobs.
I said it's like having Jacobs. I didn't say he was going to be the next Jacobs.
Like, that's not even a goddamn comparison. Like not even a conversation.
But Jacobs was more of a power back. Yes, he was fast, but he could take hits and get upfield. Scottaboo can take hits and still get upfield. Now, he may not be the most athletic. But he plays very aggressively, and that's what we need.
But he doesn't have the speed.
We good with that. We good with it.
All right, Turtle Power. Good to go. That New York Turtle Power. Let's get it.
We good, man.
I'm with you. Go ahead, do your thing. But if nobody has noticed that a lot of teams have gone to the running back by committee or dual back system by now, this is now the new age for running backs. One, it preserves their shelf life so we can use them more. Unless you have a random running back like Zeke when he first came out, or Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, even McCaffrey has to now be running back by committee because he gets hurt. They get hurt. They get banged up. They get twisted in the tunnel.
Honestly, this draft we had, though, I think with this draft we had,
I like your draft.
I like the draft. I'm not going to get hyped like other Giants fans who are like, yeah, man, this is our. No, I'm not going to be like that. I'm happy about this because it's preparing for the future. I'm not expecting us to go to the playoffs this upcoming season. I'm expecting us to win more than 3 games. Okay, God. At least win more than 3 games.
God, hopefully. Good.
But we got the hardest schedule in this year. We literally have the hardest schedule. So I don't know what Roger Goodell has against us.
They switch up the schedule all the time.
Dude, we have ranked
you had an easy schedule last year. Now you have a hard schedule. That's how it is. Like last year, we had a hard schedule. We have an easy schedule. Not even. I think we actually have a hard schedule. Because we got to play the Lions. We got to play the Chiefs.
Well, all I'm saying is this year, I'm expecting a better season than last year. Last year's draft class was pretty good when we had Tyler Nubin, Malik Neighbors, Drew Phillips. those guys. And then this year's, I'm expecting a lot from them. So I'm not saying it's going to be this year, but a couple of years from now, if if our record gets better this year than from last year, we could possibly see Brian Dable and Joe Shane. Let's see what they do after this upcoming season for the 2026 season.
See, my
and see
issue,
what we develop.
you know, I only have one issue with your draft.
What, that we didn't get a black quarterback?
I care less about if you get a black quarterback, but more of the fact that when I look at a first round pick, they need to be on the field. Y'all don't have that luxury. You picked up Wilson. All right, cool. But you move back up, you need to get pieces because you need more than just a quarterback. You need corners. You need safeties.
We did that in free agency.
I hope they're young enough because if they don't work out, you're back to the drawing board again. Whether it's easier to deal with a new corner or a new safety. Like, yes, we did it. We did the same thing. We went to the free agency. We got pieces. So why the hell did we go get another edge rusher if we brought back Dante Fowler? If we have Sam Williams? If we have Noshawn Nealon? Those are three edge rushers that we had, but we went and got another edge rusher, right? Now I understood what we did when we went defensive tackle from UCLA. I understood that because our defensive tackle doesn't work very well. He doesn't play well, and he's a first round pick.
Here's what I'm saying though. We've gotten help on the defensive end. And I don't think people realize the moves that the Giants have made because everyone will always say Giants are the joke of the NFL, so they're not really paying attention.
No, you're not. The Browns are. You're not. The Browns have always been the joke of the NFL.
Apparently, we're the joke of the NFL now.
I don't know who told you that. Tell them to stop. They need to remember that the Browns are still here.
Well, they keep saying because we let go of Saquon, that makes us the biggest joke. So
I mean, that is a stupid position. Don't get me wrong. Yes. But even so, the Browns got Deshaun Watson.
They got Deshaun Watson thinking he was going to be Deshaun Watson of the Texans.
No, he's Deshaun Watson of let me rub your back.
Might as well go ahead and get Tucker, the kicker from Baltimore, too, since he wanted to do the same thing. But I mean, we went picked in free agency, picked up Paulson Adebo, Javon Holland. So we've made some moves that are help our defensive backs up. So, and one of the young corners we have, Deontay Banks, he had a bad year last year, and I don't think he was ready for the task to be a number one corner. I think as fans, we let the hype get because of how well he played his rookie season. But that was under Wink Martindale's defense. And you also had Xavier McKinney over there, too, who was a threat. So it makes it easy. It made it easier for Devontae Banks. So once Wink left and McKinney went to Green Bay, we were like, shoot, Banks got it. Banks closed on Sundays. Now they was open.
See, that was the difference. Because remember, so you had Banks, we had Deron Bland. Diggs went down. Bland still did exactly the same thing after that.
But the problem was, like they did. Our defense was actually our defense coordinators were not that good because it was like I understand what we are expecting from Banks, but remember this is year 2 and he has no safety helping. You're putting him one-on-one against CD. Terry McLaurin, AJ Brown, and it's like, I get it. He had a good rookie season, but we're not putting pressure on the offensive line, and he's had one-on-one battles with the best receivers in the league. he's getting cooked.
That's a strong possibility. But
He got
it still could be the same way because everybody's bolstering their offensive line right now. Everybody. Dallas started it off. Eagles definitely got some offensive line help on through the draft and during free agency.
well, shoot. I mean, after grabbing Abdul Carter, everybody was like, "We're going offensive line."
Because we kind of have no choice at this point. Because Abdul Carter is great, but is he going to be the same when you don't have those monstrous threats next to him? Because now we can focus in a little bit more.
The way the way that our defense can do well is when we start from the trenches. If the defensive line, if they just can handle business, I think everything else will fall back and help out. All we need is to stay healthy too. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that this is our year we're making the playoffs. No, but I'm expecting this to be a year of progression from last year.
And everybody needs to. We just see progression from everybody, and I think it'll turn out to be very good. Do we know who's going to be the last team in the NFC East? No clue. It could be Commanders. It could be the Cowboys. It could very well be the Eagles if Jalen Hurts or AJ Brown go down.
That's another thing. People got to understand injuries happen in the league. So it's not a guarantee that, your top guys are always going to be healthy for a whole season.
And they're getting older.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like, we're not young no more. They're not young no more.
Yeah. And, I'll be honest. I feel like for the Redskins at the time, Commanders now, their situation with RG3, had their training staff been smart with him and not being like, oh, he's good to go back on the field when he wasn't, he might have a longer career because it wasn't like he was a bad QB.
No, he was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
Annoying. Very annoying.
Yeah, it was just that injury really told on him. And instead of being patient, saying, you know what, let's, wait till you're 100% healthy, they were like, no, we got to get you back on the field immediately.
It's terrible. Terrible moves.
And then his backup ended up being a starter regardless because they were like, look, man, we can't have you here. So they were like, Kirk Cousins, you about to be the starter.
And he was over there he made plays. He made good plays. He made bad plays. It wasn't until he was, y'all like that? Like, oh, okay. Congratulations. You won the game. Not really that big a deal, but, whatever. Then you then you left there and went to Minnesota, and eventually they realized that you aren't that guy. And then somehow you talked your way into Atlanta to a giant contract for a backup position at this point.
They got those guys got some good agents.
It's a great agent right there. But either way, man. I think it's going to be a fun season. As much as I don't like any of these other teams, I have mad respect for the Giants.
Appreciate it.
And the Eagles, even though I still think they buy every championship they get. It's just fact at this point.
Well, the Eagles still got 2 rings. I mean, y'all and us, we the only ones who got more than that. So
I mean, still, but they're catching up at this point. Like, this could be another ring this year.
They'll be tied with Washington then if they get another ring. So,
still, but we are the most, and in my opinion, the most competitive division in the NFL because actually, I'm gonna say us and what is that? AFC, I think it's AFC North.
Yep.
With Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
And what was that? Pittsburgh Bills.
Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, like all of them, they fight it out every year. We fight it out every year.
I mean, that's 2 divisions that don't even just like fight on the field; they fight in the stands too.
It's a fight. It's a guaranteed fight somewhere. But that is it for today. Before we go, just wanted to give a great shout out to my boy D. Appreciate you for these.
Of course, man.
Beautiful hats.
Of course.
No, maybe eventually, a couple years or a year, we'll get hats. We're probably gonna do some t-shirt merches.
Yeah.
If you guys want, let us know. Also want to appreciate to the 13 viewers that viewed our show over the past 2 weeks. Appreciate you. We're going to keep going back to weekly shows. Probably going to be Thursday because Thursday is our day. Thursday night football, getting it cracking. But we're probably going to have another show as well to highlight the college football once college football starts.
Yes.
So, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. We love y'all. See y'all next week.
Peace.